In 1979, Kiss released the divisive Dynasty. It was an album that showed the band in a more contemporary, radio-friendly, and disco style. Some songs from that record would become standards at concerts, and in modern perspective, some even becoming fan favorites. In 1980, the band took this new direction even further with Unmasked. While an international hit, stateside, it left many fans unsatisfied, with few, if any, of its tracks standing the test of time. As many fans will say, it just doesn't sound like a Kiss record, and they're not wrong. Many outside writers were brought in, with only 2 tracks being penned by Ace Frehley. The other writers included Jared McMahon, Pepe Castro, Bob Kulick, and Vinnie Poncia. Poncia had served as producer for Peter Criss's solo album, and was brought in at his insistence for Dynasty. Ironically, Poncia felt that Peter's drumming wasn't good enough for Dynasty, and brought in Anton Fig. This would be repeated for this record. This caused further animosity for Peter, who despite appearing on the cover and recording a music video for the single Shandy, left the band before they went on tour. 3 singles would be released from this record: Tomorrow, Talk to Me, and Shandy. Shandy would prove the most successful of these, being a top 10 hit in Australia, New Zealand, Norway, and even reaching number 1 in Argentina. The track was such a hit in Australia that it would become a standard for future shows the band played there, even making an appearance on a live 4. While it's common knowledge that Peter doesn't play on this track or even the whole album, Gene Simmons doesn't play on it either. Bass duties were handed over to roadie Tom Harper. Why exactly remains unknown. The keyboards on this track were provided by the legendary songwriter and keyboardist Holly Knight. The music video is notable for 2 reasons. The first being that Ace is visibly inebriated, and the second being that this would be the last time Peter would work with the band until the 90s. The story goes that Peter was handed his pink slip after shooting the video. Afterwards, he would be the last one in the dressing room where he sobbed. Talk to Me would be the second single, which had more of a rock feel to it. Oddly enough, bass would again not be provided by Gene Simmons, but rather Ace Frehley. The final single, Tomorrow, only features Paul Stanley, who provides the vocals, lead, rhythm guitar, and bass. The drums were again Anton Fig, with additional material provided by Vinnie Poncia. For the cover, they enlisted artist Victor Staben, who had created the comic-style cover as well as the poster freebie inside. This would be animated, and I use that term very loosely, for the album's TV commercial. After the disaster that was the Dynasty Tour, the band decided to tour only in Europe, Australia, and New Zealand, where they were still a bankable act. Only 1 show would be performed in the United States, at the New York Palladium, with new drummer Eric Carr. Carr would also be featured in a German TV performance lip-syncing to Talk to Me and She's So European. During all but 3 shows in Europe, the opening act would be rising metal stars Iron Maiden. The Oceania shows were likened to that of the Beatles, as the group was mobbed constantly through nightly wild parties and caused general public chaos wherever they went. Unmasked remains as controversial today as it did during its release, with some calling it a hidden gem and others regarding it as garbage. I have tried numerous times to get into this record, and I just can't. It feels like scraps of songs and ideas. To me, the only reason to own this record is the album cover. However, I do encourage others to listen to it, as it may just appeal to you, as it did to many others down under in 1980. Thank you again so much for watching. If you want to help support this channel, subscribe, like, comment, share, check out my old videos, and I will see you guys next time.